What is going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, where I've recently completed my first and likely only playthrough of Detroit Become Human on PlayStation 4, at least for the time being. With previous David Cage Quantic Dream games like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, I've played them and then I've really wanted to play them again, but I played them on PlayStation 3 originally. They've both actually, luckily enough, come out on PlayStation 4 as free PlayStation Plus games, so I have downloaded them and we probably will see reviews of both of those other games on the channel in the future. But today we're looking at Detroit Become Human, and unfortunately my timing really couldn't be much worse, and I apologize for that. Detroit Become Human, funny enough, is available on PlayStation Plus for PlayStation Plus subscribers absolutely free for the month of July 2019. So depending on when this video goes live, you have 3 or 4 days from the launch of this video to take full advantage of getting Detroit Become Human absolutely free on PlayStation 4. It's a free game and it is brand new. This was a AAA game launched in 2018. They were asking like $70 ticket price day one, and now you can get it for free. If you've never played a David Cage Quantic Dream game, I would highly recommend all 3 of these titles. Beyond Two Souls, if memory serves, is my personal favorite of the 3, though Detroit Become Human may be edging it out at this point. I'll have to replay the other 2 before I can make a final decision there. But all 3 are fantastic. They're more or less interactive films than games. There's a lot of cutscenes. They're very actor motion capture heavy, with quick time events taking up the majority of how you play the game. They're incredibly interactive, in which every small decision matters. A lot of games put that in their marketing materials, like everything you do is going to have a massive impact on what the game ends up being, but for the most part, games that say that have a good, a bad, and a neutral ending. That is not the situation with Quantic Dream games. These games, literally every single statistic matters. Every single thing you say can make a huge difference. There's so many branching storylines. There's so many different outcomes and results and things that you can do. Characters that you play as can die and never come back. It's an incredibly enriching gameplay experience to know that things are actually changing as you play. And this game takes it to the next level above Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, because in this game there are 2 new elements that can give you a lot more insight onto what the decisions that you're making are doing for you in the game. So the first is the flowchart. So at the end of every chapter that you play, you're going to see a flowchart that shows you which percentage of people in the world and which percentage of your friends chose the same results. And you can also see how many different results and different endings and different pathways that you can take in a single chapter, and how you might have done things differently. The other big difference is where in previous games you could always affect how much a companion NPC likes or dislikes you. In Detroit, you actually keep track of that in something I call companion karma. You can watch in a single conversation as a character that is your companion may grow to be your friend, your lover, then they may become hostile and grow to resent you. And depending on where you stand with certain characters in the game, that opens up another wide variety of different pathways. If they're your friend, they might do something for you, whereas if they are hostile, they'll leave you to die, and so on and so forth. So it opens up a lot of new actions, and you get to keep track of that throughout this game, whereas in something like Heavy Rain, you were always kind of questioning, like, I don't know how this person is going to respond to me. In this game, you have a much better idea of where you stand with different characters. So the game itself is set in 2030 or 2040, a couple years in the future, in a far more tech-heavy future than we have now. So I call it a future modern story, where there are androids that help the human race. The human race has basically invented a new form of intelligent life, and that intelligent life is waking up. They're finally figuring out that, hey, we don't need this shit. We can be our own people, and they're fighting for their freedom. So you follow 3 main characters. Connor, who leads a criminal investigation into deviant androids. Those are the androids that are finally waking up and want their own free will. Marcus, who leads that deviant revolution, and Kara, who you're seeing in the gameplay today, and she just kind of escaped some domestic violence, and she's the ground level. She's where you're seeing how everything is impacting the basic human and the basic androids. You have 2 really big pillars of this conflict going at each other and one character in between, so that you can see the results of how those two major players are changing the game. It's a really cool story, and it's really nice how they actually implemented all three characters into this storyline, though I will say the gameplay is a little bit slower. It's a little bit more self-contained than previous games. There aren't as many big action set pieces. It's kind of very focused on these big story beats and character development. So a lot of character development leads up to one or two really big action set pieces, especially with Marcus. The character Marcus gets a lot of the big action set pieces because he's doing like these major actions trying to raise awareness for the android cause, and those missions are really, really fun. The Kara story starts to drag a little bit. It pulls on your heartstrings, but it really starts to drag further on, and I'm not the biggest fan of that story arc. There is definitely something to be said about the story as a whole as well, and the embedded message within. There's some political commentary in there. There's some real world impact, like discussions about equality and warnings of future technology, like how far can we take technology before technology overtakes us and is creating life unethical. Like, can we play God, and can we go so far with our technology that we create another life force like androids, and is that okay if we do that? Like, there's a lot of really interesting like philosophical questions that come up throughout the campaign of this story, and they put you at the forefront of making those decisions. It's always really fun to make the decisions in this game because they have such a broad impact. Most games don't give you that sense of everything matters, like every single thing that you say. Like, it's such an enthralling gameplay experience because you care about these characters. They do a really good job with the storytelling, with the acting, to make you fall in love with all three of your main characters and their companions. For the most part, the game is really fun. I think it has limited replayability. With all of the Quantic Dream games, there's limited replayability. Like, obviously you're going to make a couple different decisions here and there, but I think that rewatching cutscenes could get pretty tiring, so it's not a game that you'll play 30 times over. Maybe you'll want to get every single ending, and that is definitely something that you can do if you're going for the Platinum Trophy, but for the most part, I think this is a game that most people will like to play through once, and it's a really fun game that you can play and have your friend play, and then the two of you can compare like what happened in your chapters and how you did things differently. It's one of those kind of water cooler type games, and I would highly recommend it for any gamer. It is mature, so I will let you know that. It's got some pretty mature themes in there if you're a younger gamer, but really fun game, really entertaining stuff. It's very basic too in terms of controlling, so it's pretty slow. A lot of it is dialogue and talking and making decisions. A very methodical game. So if you have that kind of thinker's mind and you want to think about philosophical questions and you want to make different decisions and you want to see the impact of your decisions on the large scale of the game, this is the game for you. Honestly, I love all the Quantic Dream games. This one is definitely up there, like wrestling for the #1 spot with Beyond Two Souls, which I will have a review of very soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. The final verdict on Detroit Become Human is very good. I would highly recommend it, and again, it is free for the next 3 days on PlayStation Plus, so take advantage of that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe. I will have more reviews coming soon, and I will catch you guys on the next video.